the steering wheel, and the other hand he's throwing up set signs and screaming out his set, talking shit to the other cars in gang talk. Alright, so this is a story
about how my life got turned upside down, and I would like to take a minute to sit right here.
Go off.
Almost got myself murked.
You go paint this.
Me and my homie, we got invited to this hotel kickback. Now, it was late at night. This was when I lived over at the Lamb Mansion. You guys have already saw Instagram pictures and shit. The one that looked like a whole hotel from the back. The one where I was nunchucking in the backyard next to the pool and dropped one of my nunchucks in the pool and shit. Of course, that's the video that goes viral. Me nunchucking good, that shit do okay. But when I fuck some shit up or hit myself or drop some shit, that shit get like 10 times more views. Every time. We gonna call the homie SP. So SP, he's like, there's a hotel party on the other side of town on Fremont Street. And the messed up part about this story is, I know Fremont Street wasn't a good place to go. I knew that. But the problem with surviving all the near-death situation that I've survived is that the shit come with confidence, I guess you could say. You get yourself into and out of enough situations where shit didn't look good from a not dying standpoint that you tend to not really give a shit about the details. So I understood where we was at. I knew it was all bad, but I'm just like, you know what? There's no way this could go bad. The hotel was full on white, but it was so run down. There was like leaves and foliage and grass and shit all growing all over the building. All of the banisters that were metal, them bitches had rust all over them. It was 100% the type of hotel you only go to when there's fucking to be done. There was no question if this place had bed bugs and or roaches. You don't ever want to live in this place. But I'm just like, yeah, you know, turn up. I'm not sweating the details. I'm thinking everything gonna go good. And then they open the hotel room door and I gotta look inside to see the people. I get up in there, man. There's certain shit that when you run into it, you know that you shouldn't proceed further. I'm just like, nah, I got this. There's no way this goes bad for me. Another thing that let me know how run down this hotel really was, the bathroom was carpeted. Yeah, I mean, toilet get clogged up, water come out, everybody gonna smell it. Like that's the way it was set up. So I roll up in there and there's 3 people up in there playing craps on cardboard in the farthest part of the hotel room. 3 of the 4 dudes was wearing do-rags of the same color. They was all wearing red. It was all bad. There was also these 2 chicks up in there, like, you know, and they was attractive. And one of the chicks that was up in there, she reminded me of my long lost ex-female. Oh, what the fuck was her name? Lonnie. There it is. The environment was awful. Everyone in there sold drugs more than likely, or was at least trying to. And I started kicking it with some of the dudes up in there and shit, you know what I mean? And it was mad niggerish. Probably the reason why they tried to rob me so fast. Never go back to the streets once you make it out. That shit is a trick. I shouldn't have been in this situation, but I was bored. That's how everything that ever goes bad always starts. It's from being bored. So I'm up in this mug, and you know, I start vibing with the environment and shit. The only thing I didn't really like about the hotel room, aside from everyone in there having guns, was that there was no music. I was like, yo, hey, I DJ, y'all mind if I throw on some music up in this mug? So then I put on the music, everybody turning up while I'm playing the music and shit, you know what I'm saying? I started peeping the female that's attractive, and the dudes is dancing, and the other female starts dancing and shit. One of the females' name was Nova. That was the one that set me up. I do know her Instagram. I'm not gonna put her pic up. I should actually show y'all some of the texts. Like when I texted her to get some of the stuff that they robbed me for. They actually did get some of my shit. They got some of my shit. They got my Gucci bag and like a pair of 2 of my nunchucks and one of my favorite skateboards. Son of a bitches. And that bag was $2,500.
You fucked up when you went to Fremont Street with a Gucci bag on.
Turn up. So yeah, I got robbed. This story, I realize now that I'm telling it, is actually kind of fucking ruthless. Now that I think about it. This is some ruthless shit. So I'm playing the music and shit, and a Puerto Rican female, you know what I'm saying? I see her like looking at me and shit, you know what I'm saying? She keep giving me these looks. So I'm DJing and I'm talking to her, and then the chick is just like, yo, like, you know what I mean? She started, you know, asking me questions and blah, 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 like what I like to do and shit. I don't even tell her YouTube. I'm just like, yo, you know, no, I'm just chilling and shit, just doing my thing, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, you know, what's your favorite song? And blah, blah, blah. I tell her what my favorite song is. So I ask her what her favorite song is. So she tell me, and then like a half an hour, 45 minutes later, I look over at her, and she seemed like real sad for some fucking reason. I ain't understand why. So I switched the music that I was playing, and I turned on her favorite song. I forgot what the hell it was. It wasn't no girly shit. I forgot what the fuck it was. But I played that shit, and then when I played that shit, the chick, she hella started like hovering on me hella hard. So she's laying back on the bed, and she pulled me back on the bed and shit, and the other girl, Nova, was on the bed too, and she started giving me this vibe of let's do stuff. I would have been down if the room wasn't full of gangbangers. And then one of the dudes, he came and got on the other side of the bed. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and roll. I got that girl's number though. I went on the road out and shit. So then a week later, we all chilling at the mansion and shit. And Nova comes over. And when she came over, she bring the biggest gangbangerish looking dude with her. I'd already told SP to tell her you can't bring no dudes to my crib. I don't know what their motives is. So she bring this dude with her, and I'm just like, this is weird. So I just left. So then I get a call from SP. He's like, yo, why don't you put a brick through the front of my car? And I'm just like, shit. I didn't have my car at the time. I think I had gotten a flat and I was getting it fixed. You know, I was already gone when that shit happened. I had Ubered over to the barber shop to kick it with the homies. So I get there and Nova and the gangbanger guy, they're standing in front of the barber shop. Like they're just right there. So I walk up, you know, I get fist dapped to the big gangbanger motherfucker. They over there rolling up some weed and shit. I'm like, yo, you smashed the homie's windshield in. She's like, my bad, I have angry shoes and blah, blah, blah. Every other excuse in the freaking book. So she's like, yo, I'm still allowed over there, right? And I'm like, yeah. No, absolutely not. You can't control your emotions. She's like, you know, I just had a bad moment and I'm so sorry. And I'm like, nah. You put a brick through his shit, you can't come back over. You just can't. She's like, oh, okay. I'm about to leave to go hang out with a friend of mine across town and shit. I asked them if they could give me a ride. I tried to call an Uber, but my phone had just got turned off. I be forgetting to pay the bill and shit. I be so busy like making content and just having a good time that I forget to pay the bill. Shit happens. So I get into their car and the homie's just like, yo, I gotta make a stop real quick. And I'm like, sure. When I said that, I got this little tingly feeling in the back of my mind. I was like, don't do this. In my brain, I'm like, I've survived a bunch of shit. There's no way this could turn into a situation that I can't handle. This should be fine. So I get into the passenger seat. Homie gets into the front seat, but when he gets in, he pulls his gun out and puts it under the seat. My brain is like, am I fucking this up? And my logical side is like, you are absolutely fucking this up. You don't know this guy. You don't know the female that well either. And he's got a gun. Come on, son. You're fucking up. But I'm just like, nah, I'm good. No way this will turn into a situation that, you know, I couldn't handle. So we in the car, the whole time we driving, I'm trying to Captain Save-A-Ho this dude. And what I mean by that is, I'm trying to spit knowledge about how he could get out the streets. I used to be one of them dumbasses that kept trying to save people, no matter how hard they kicked and screamed that they didn't want to be saved. You can only save the ones that want to be saved, the ones that follow the program and shit. If they can't get their shit together, you got to throw them immediately back into the sea of the streets, off the boat, and right back into the projects usually. We driving down the street, man. This nigga is leaning out the window, screaming, his blood set, and throwing up signs. Like, has his whole side of his body out of the freaking driver's side window while he's doing this. It's as if he was ghost riding the whip and driving at the same time. You ever seen S. Ventura with Nature Calls? That's how this dude drove. He's got one hand on the steering wheel, and the other hand he's throwing up set signs and screaming out his set, talking shit to the other cars in gang talk. I tried to tell him to shut the fuck up a little bit, completely didn't work. So homie's ripping down the freaking streets, man, and we stop at a stop sign while he's still suka, blah, 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 blah. My brain is just like, get the fuck out and run. My dumb ass. I'm just like, but no. I've dealt with this before. There's no way that this can turned into a situation that I can't handle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the guy's angrily repping his set and screaming and yelling out the side of his freaking window with a loaded pistol under the seat. But there's no way this can go bad. So we driving down the street, homie's yelling and screaming and throwing up his gang signs and shit. I don't know how, but this nigga runs into a freaking rival gang member while we're freaking in traffic. The guy, he's pissed because he's a crip and the dude is throwing up and yelling blood shit. So, of course, now this is a high-speed chase. So now the gangbanger pulls his gun from under the seat. and he sticks it out the driver's side window. And he starts waving that shit while screaming his blood set back at the dude. Cause the dude has pulled his pistol out and has it out the window and is actively chasing the car I'm in. Nigga. The bitch in the back seat, whose name is Nova, this stupid bitch, in the middle of the high-speed chase, at this exact moment, this bitch gonna have the nerve to yell out, yo, stop the car. I'ma fight him. I'm like, bitch, this bitch is literally 95 pounds. It's like they were trying to get me killed, yo. Oh, in a high-speed chase, running from a dude, the rival gangbanger with a gun. Best thing to do, stand as still as possible. Stop moving. If you don't move, he won't see you. I shouldn't call this dude on. So the dude who's driving is running red lights. We're doing like fucking 90 miles an hour down Sahara, just a crowded ass fucking street. The bitch in the back seat is yelling that we should stop and fight these gun-toting gangbangers. I'm like, you mother, I'm just chilling. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, like, nigga, we already halfway down the slide. That other half of the slide done fell off. Nigga, what we gonna do? Fuck it, crying don't help. So through the graces of something, he stops chasing us. I don't know why. Shit, he puts his gun back under the seat. We driving through traffic, and I start preaching my Captain Save-A-Hole bullshit again. I'm trying to indirectly let this nigga know that if you drove like a calm and collected human being, then this shit wouldn't happen. Again, we stop at another red light. My brain again is yelling at me, BHD, get the fuck out. Death. Run! And my dumb ass is just like, but no. Like, this isn't dangerous. I just survived. So technically, this isn't really that bad, right? Nigga. Keep on driving. Till we pull into this middle-class neighborhood. And I say middle-class neighborhood because we had to put in the code to get through some gates. So in my mind, I'm like, well, there's gotta be a safe place. It's gated. We get into the complex. And we drive like 10 seconds. The house that we drove to, it was like next door to the gates that we had to come into. We parked the car. The homie doesn't take the keys out the ignition. This nigga just looks at me and he's like, yo, I'll be right back. Pulls the gun from up under his seat, puts it in his balls or his ass or wherever gangbangers keep it, and he walks into the house. So while dude is gone, I'm preaching this Captain Save-A-Hole, gotta help the community. Martin Luther King inspirational bullshit to the female in the back seat. Until that tingly feeling in my brain is just like, I still think we fucking up. You know what I'm saying? It's at that exact time that I hear a little wrestling out the passenger side window. Look over, big bone crusher looking nigga standing about 6 feet away from the car. Mean mugging, big as shit, nigga. And that thing in my brain is like, that's clearly a sign. I go back to talking to the female or whatever, you know, don't even give it to skirt the dude, whatever. While I'm talking to the female, a couple minutes later, I hear rustling coming out the passenger side window again. I turn around and there's a second nigga surrounding the car that's walked out of the house. So now I'm just like, all right, maybe it's not what it looks like. Maybe these are the homies and they're coming out to hang out too. So I go back to talking to the female and then about 20 seconds later, I hear another rustling. I turn around and 2 more niggas come out the house and surround the car. And I can see their guns from the way they're walking. And I'm like, okay, this ain't good. Because I knew they had guns because the dude that just went into the house, he had his gun. So I'm like, shit. And mind you, my brain has put all of this together already. I know I'm fucked. I already know. I took a look at the bitch in the back seat. This bitch stared blank at my fucking ass. It's exactly what the fuck it looks like. That's what I read from this bitch's eyes. It's at that exact moment that the dude that drove me there, mind you, the car was on. The car was running the entire time. The dude that drove us there comes around to the fucking driver's side, puts his body through the fucking window. This nigga looked me dead in my fucking eyeballs. And as he's turning the key and taking the key out the ignition, this nigga, while staring me directly in the windows of my soul, says to me, man, sorry, Blast. Exact body language and everything. I already knew what that meant, because I've been in a couple of those situations already, so I already knew what that shit meant. It was kind of like in The Walking Dead when Shane and Otis had finally escaped, but they had ran out of bullets, and Shane knew that there was no way for them both to escape. He just looked at homie and was like, I'm sorry. That's the exact same way he said it to me. As if, hey man, you good for black people, but nigga, we need this money. And you the only one with it. So when I saw that, my brain was like, either I get myself out of this shit or I just die. What would you have done, Jamila?
I would have been texting the homie while I'm looking at their ass like, nigga, I'm about to get robbed. This is where I'm at.
Your ass gonna start offering some blowjobs out there, bitch.
Yeah,
y'all need the dick suck? Anybody need the dick suck right now? Like who needs it? Anybody need?
Like,
you know what I mean? The way he said it, does anybody need the dick suck? Like, I just want to.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just putting that out there. If I was on my P's and Q's, I should have got up and ran. See you later, bitch.
I would have told the girl in the back like, oh, my homie live over here. I'm about to go see the homie. Got out the car and just walked away until she couldn't see me and dipped on their ass.
I should have told that bitch, I'll get you, bitch.
I'll get you, bitch.
Crazy. I would have already knew.
I was fucking up. I had a G in my pocket. My Gucci backpack and my skateboard was in the trunk. If you ever looking for something to lick on, that night I was lickable as fuck. I don't even care about the Gucci backpack, but I missed my skateboard and I missed the pair of nunchucks I had in that goddamn backpack.
And they probably threw that shit away.
Thank God.
I'm just saying, cause you know, people from the hood don't use nunchucks or skateboards. They was like, fuck this shit.
Damn it. It was like it threw my nerdy shit away. Like, man,
Yeah,
this nerdy
they probably
shit
threw,
fuck out
yeah.
here,
They was like, throw that shit away.
nigga.
So what happened when these three niggas outside and he said, my bad, Blast.
I was like, okay, they're gonna jump me and, you know, probably rob me, possibly kill me. You never know. So I'm just gonna leave and hopefully there's not a problem. Hopefully I can just walk away and no one makes this a situation that I have to become different. And that's exactly what I did. I calmly opened the fucking passenger side door. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. My heart was fucking in my throat. I'm calm as shit on the outside. I'm not sweating, I'm not tripping, but my heart is like boop, boop, boop. So I just opened up the passenger door, got out the car, closed the passenger door while still looking at him. I was like, all right, well, you know, all right. And I calmly walked about 15 feet to that big ass 10-foot gate that we had came through when we first got there, hopped that bitch, landed, and walked about another 10 feet, and then turned the corner and ran as fast as I've ever ran in my goddamn life. I ran all the way about a good 2-3 blocks straight. I came to an intersection and there was a Vines. I used their phone to call T-Mobile and pay my fucking phone bill. When my phone was turned back on, ordered an Uber, and then when the Uber came, hopped in that bitch and got the fuck out. Now, while I was inside of fucking Vines, paying my bill, I get the call on my cell phone from these niggas. They like, hey man, where'd you go? And I'm just like, oh man, dude, well, I mean, when all your friends came out, I figured you guys were gonna have a conversation or talk about something. So I just called an Uber and I'm already halfway home right now. It's real funny because I've had to do this type of shit before when I was younger.
What did you learn?
What did I learn?
Absolutely nothing.
I didn't get my bag. I lost all that stuff, my skateboard.
Did you at least have your money still in your pocket?
Yeah, my money was still in my pocket.
Oh, okay.
I kept that shit. That nigga had the balls to call me. Learn from my mistakes. Don't just hang out with any motherfucker that sound good. If they doing fuck shit, then they usually are not somebody that you really wanna be trusting to go to their houses. They got guns on them shit. It's cool to kick it with bullshit people. You know what I mean? But like, you don't want to ever let those people take you into their environment. You know, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to comment, like, and or subscribe. It's your boy Blast, Miss HD. You know what I'm saying? Twizzlers.